Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away. Defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away. on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away. Defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, took it all away. onto something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding onto something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away. Defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, took it all away. onto something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding onto something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away. Defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Feel the time.
onto something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding onto something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away. Defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Yeah.
reason. Finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason. Finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me. And you took it all away.
Feel the tightness. Feel the tightness. Feel the tightness. Feel the
defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless.
Been completed, but we've still got two more matches in front of us, and we will be jumping into match number two real quick. But again, just before we dive deep into it, you already know it's the grand final. So make sure to hit that like button, click on the subscribe, as well as click on the bell notification so that you would not miss the action that is going to be live, and neither will your friends. Make sure to share the stream with as many people as possible, because again, match number two will be underway in the next few minutes, maybe just a few seconds if everyone is lucky. So you do not want to move anywhere. But again, since we're already talking about the teams, we know that all the amazing top teams are right now in the finals. And I'm going to start everything with FAB Machine, Team KEERTHI, GENETIX Esports, Team INA, Fuming Gods, Vibes Esports, Silent Movers, Lightning Esports as well, VIK, Team XPRESS, Counter Esports, RB Esports, Phoenix Stars, Edge, Master, DGOD Esports, Fighter Esports, and GLA4 Esports. All of them, all these amazing teams are going to be in front of us performing wonderfully. And this time around, it's going to be the map of Miramar. And guess what? Planes going in from Puerto Rico will be ending towards El Pozo. So, very southern oriented plane, which will end up towards the northwestern part. And honestly, if there's anyone who would want to jump in towards Campo Militar, La Cabrera, they're gonna have to travel a lot. Maybe for the teams who want to go to La Cabrera, they would be able to go in if they literally jump at the last second. But anyone who wants to go in towards Los Higos, Prison, Minas del Sur, they will be able to jump in without any difficulties. And we might possibly see some early contest as well because Los Leones, pretty big city. You know there would be at least two teams out there. For now, we'll also be looking at the members of FAB Machine. Still going towards the southernmost point of the map, towards Los Higos. They're going to get as many vehicles as possible, do some bare minimums, and also would go in for their standard rotations, which we normally see from all of these teams. They're not going to go in for any kind of early contest, though still towards Puerto Rico, we might see some early skirmishes, but that is if teams would really want to risk all of that. But as of now, Fab Machine just are gonna make sure that they will be looting in some essential things. They're also getting as many vehicles for themselves as possible. There's a vehicle already there, so not gonna have any kind of problems in that. GENETIX Esports doing the exact same things. Alright, so the fights are still being taken. VIK suffering a casualty. Marshall has already been taken down. That's gonna be a problem for them. Some fights fought near the side of Team Genetic Esports. They're gonna pick up the buggy, and it seems they really want to go in for this one. Phoenix Stars, they're already suffering one casualty on the other side, seeing some good amount of damage actually being dealt onto them. Still gonna focus down Genetics Esports again, protecting their members. Seems like they do not want to pursue that contest. They'll be going in forward. We'll just be moving backwards because again there was Edge Masters near them. Some warning shots being fired. Winchester being used up. I really love that gun, even though it does not provide a lot of value to the team, but I still like to play with it. Yeah, that's the one of the reason is because I'm a big Supernatural fan. The Winchester's brothers. That's off to anyone who would actually know that reference, which I kind of doubt. But on the other side, when we're looking at the side of Edge Masters, Garud already taking three finishes, and that too in the early game. This is the kind of momentum that they need, and with this kind of start, if they kind of continue this pace in towards the mid game, it might be possible we might see them possibly ending the game at least 10 to 12 frags, and that should be probably the bare minimum. While on the other side, yet again RB Esports, from the time of their life, they were able to get one knock, and if I'm not wrong, it was on VIK Esports. They were able to take down Marshall, and who other than Gobi? I mean, when I lose any kind of duel against a Gobi, if in case that's literally the vegetable like that, but whatever. I'm gonna again focus down as to what's happening in the game because teams have slowed down their pace. No more early fights, no more early skirmishes. They're all just going to take their time and are gonna make sure that have some important loots that they need. One for one trade coming in on the other side. Hero OP was also able to finish off Abraham. That's something we did not expect to happen. But again, when we are looking at El Pozo's side, seeing a cluster forming onto that direction, full of teams playing right there, and again, the zone has it's always kind of this wherein it's so very it's kind of got a phobia of all the players as to where there are less players, that's the exact place the zone's gonna form. So safe zone, and half of it was probably underwater as well. I think so teams might actually go in for the travel towards the south entry if they want to. Anyone who's looting La Cabrera or even the ones who are towards El Pozo would probably try and enter through Al Azhar, but also want to take some space towards those hills, want to obviously have that high ground control. La Bendita might also be a very good option for the teams to probably try and gain the ground and then maybe just scan the area if there's any other team playing around them. But we might possibly see another contest between GLA as well as Fab Machine because they'll probably be making the rotations from near each other, maybe from the same part, and might as well end up entering towards the side of INA. So if that kind of happens, you know there's going to be a cluster forming there, and you're going to be seeing some amazing fights, amazing battles out in the open. Two zones kind of hitting to all the teams or on the extreme western edges. They'll also be converging in. I'm not quite sure if they really would want to go and make that rotation directly through in Picardo and end up in Los Leones. That does seem to be the way for a couple of those teams. It's kind of risky, to be honest, but quite sure if it's gonna work out for them or not. Would really want it to happen, but they deep just on a bike. No way he's gonna survive that. That was a hard end coming in for him and a casualty for RB Esports. A man down and unretrievable whatsoever. Silent movers, just making sure they're getting as much utilities as possible. Many of these teams would be so heavily grenade dependent, Molotovs with the frag nades, because we see teams relying onto them a lot, especially whenever you are on the side where there's kind of lot of high ground area. You really would want to have as many nades as possible in your hand to kind of flush out the players, to make them move towards one part of that hill, only for your team to be ready, setting up a trap on towards the other side where you're trying to flush them onto. That's one way of dealing with the people who are actually on the high ground. But as of now, one other thing they could do is just trying to take the fight right onto them, but it kind of gets a very 50-50 scenario. XPRESS as well, since we're already talking about them, looking at them, having few hiccups here and there, but eventually just still trying to find their footing into this desert map. Many of the teams fail to conquer the arena, conquer the area. And when it's Battle of the Undergods, you already know the competition is just extremely high. All of these players are super talented. But on the other side, GLA for esports with a very slow start, and that's the kind of pace they love to play with. Going with a slow approach, and in towards the mid and late game, they try and show their true colors, wherein they try to shine the most. Not getting picked off, that's one good thing. Women strong as of now because certain of the teams have been losing a few members here and there, and that's not what you would want to be at. It's not exactly the place. The fact about Miramar is that there are tons of ridges, but there's a lot of open area as well. So you need to have either a very solid compound position or maybe just a high ground. These are the only two places, major places, wherein you would try and play. And if in case you don't want to play in on the high ground and you've got some kind of covers from one of the sides, maybe just playing at the foothill. Go on now. We're already talking about the foothill, the contest between GLA4 Esports as well as FAB Machine. Raids coming in, and finally Mars has been taken down. Beryl Mars not being able to win a crucial duel, and GLA4 Esports would have to send in the backup real quick. They're trying to pincer around the members of FAB Machine. Long range shots being fired by Foxy. Has to get one more knock, and this time around, it just seems to be the case as in FAB Machine would try and go in for a full retreat. Shots being fired yet again, long range. This time around, Foxy was taken down. Device getting that amazing knock, and this puts the members of GLA in a very precarious position. Fab Machine will be giving in the rise, the important revivals, and this time around, that's going to be Neeraj as well, taken down on his knees. It's a sandwich situation, possibly, because we also see the members of Team INA on towards the other side, and they've literally left Neeraj unknown. And the gods right there, but that's about it. INA, Goku was able to take Neeraj down, at least get 1 point for his own team. So the question is, can GLA get the revive in on Mars as well as Foxy? Mars has been brought back onto his foot. Foxy is also receiving the revival, so they're not going to lose any kind of members. They are surviving in a situation where it could have been the end. They'll probably be feeling lucky at this point because INA came at clutch to kind of get a good sandwich situation and catch FM in that. FM losing a couple of members, then unknown. Gonna tank a few shots, but maybe not gonna go down to his knees. Ian as well, they're still taking some kind of aggression from GLA for esports, as these are the only two strong teams left in the vicinity. Though we still have unknown from Fab Machine, so he might try to play as a spoiler. But looking at the amount of heals by Mars, they're not at all enough. It does not even have a first aid kit. Just using up those bandages might be problem for him in that late game if in case they're able to survive for that long. Because INA, they don't seem to have any intention of letting GLA4 Esports go from this situation, but GLA have decided to go in for a full retreat, directly moving towards the western part, not letting INA get any kind of points because they were literally on a steamroll, especially Goku, quickly getting a knock onto Neeraj as well as finishing him off, and that is exactly the reason why Fab Machine they had to make a quick retreat. 1 and 3 split coming in from INA, while on the other side, when we're looking towards the northern part, towards Junkyard, we are already seeing Vibes Esports trying to go in and take the entry into the circle. The OP is will be moving in through the same direction. La Bandita was a place where I was thinking teams might try and take an early control, and we already see one team there, wherein the other is also moving in their way. Already lost a couple of members, so it's going to be problematic for them. But it just seems to be the case that in the center part of the zone, we're going to see a huge collision. We've literally got a cluster of 3 to 4 different teams, and it's going to get chaotic. It will probably become super chaotic until and unless we might see a stalemate between them, or all the teams just deciding to play it safe until the next zone forms, because fights are going to happen. That is inevitable. Even on towards the eastern part, northeastern, central part, if you're going to witness, we will be seeing a couple of teams converging at exact that point. And again, high grounds are a place we will see most of these teams trying to take the control of. That part of the map is going to be important. It's Miramar. We always talk about how important and how crucial the high ground control is. Members of the INA still trying to go in for some farm. Vibes getting an opener, and we were already seeing a lot of team converging from the northern part of the map, which we already mentioned in the starting. GLA taking a ton of fire. Obito just gonna drive in left and right to avoid as many shots as possible and will survive this cascade of bullets from Edge Master. For how long, that's going to be the question. Will GLA decide to take the fight? They are still deciding to go in for a full retreat. Do not want to fight any teams whatsoever. They only took the fight against Fab Machine. They lost a couple of members. At least they were brought down to the knees. Not exactly getting deleted, but nonetheless, that one specific fight has kind of shattered their confidence, if not entirely, but just a little bit, because they are pretty daunted by the other teams, or at least not just deciding to take in fights whatsoever. Edge Masters now gonna start their own rotation as well, because the hilltops, few of them have they've been moved out, especially since the zone has basically taken another shift. It's going to be difficult for the members of Fab Machine to go in the zone without taking any fight. They can't avoid any kind of action, because all these teams now are going to converge in on towards the edges. Probably. They would not want to be the center of attention, would not want to be the center of attraction whatsoever. And those edges are the places where we will probably see a lot of those fights happening, especially the southern one, because there are literally 4 teams out there. And even in towards the northern part, we're seeing a cluster forming. These are the kind of parts where you would always see a lot of action, and not just between 2 teams, but also in a scenario wherein you see a third party coming in. For now, the members of EM not taking a fight with counter esports whatsoever. They're literally just letting them go. Some shots being fired on support, though. His car taking a decent amount of damage, but he'll be able to jump out in the UZ. they're also not going to face any problem in their rotations. Now, I'm still quite surprised. We've still got 50 players remaining in total of 15 teams. Now, under the bridge is the place where Counter Esports have decided to probably pause. Take a pause at least for a second or two. They've got to create covers from multiple directions though, because if in case they want to continue onto this position, they could be fired upon from multiple different angles. And if that happens, I'm not quite sure if they would actually like it or not. Because yet again, we have an idea as you don't always want to be in a spot where you're open from all the sides. One or two, alright, it could be covered. But three, there's absolutely no way you would want to be in that kind of spot. On the other side, Gojo has taken a beating. Seeing some good contest going in on towards the other part of the map, but focusing down onto the members of Counter Esports. Got a decent positioning. Foxy OG has been taken down. Team GLA. GLA, they were not ready for the fights, and eventually, sooner rather than later, the fight was brought to them, and they cannot keep their stand whatsoever. ERANGEL was able to take one person down, so Counter Esports trying to gather as much advantage as possible for the terrain that they're controlling. LGT. And another knock on the other side. We're also seeing two finishes for Counter Esports. Now, we already know how important it is, how finish points focus the game has become, and that is one of the reasons why teams try to play centrally in the zone. One, to be in a good spot wherein they could make some easy rotations towards the other circle, but also try and figure out where the fights are going on and try and get a few extra kills from the scrap. Watching the side of Edge Masters, they are on a roll though, but the one who was actually on a roll, Garud, was finished off. He had 3 kills. And after that, they've been pretty silent since then. Only Monster having 1, but nothing apart from that. Team KEERTHI, they're in their vicinity. They could also be sandwiched by the members of FAB Machine if they keep on staying in that position. They can't stay put. God in the meantime, he's having the time of his life. Also catching another one, dealing a decent amount of damage, but at the same time, Team KEERTHI facing another problem. They've got to bail one of their players out. 1 HP and no oxygen. Cannot survive. He was deprived exactly of that and was brought down to his knees. But a few single tap shots coming in from support, providing some decent support to his teammate, as we're seeing Counter Esports losing one of their members, and they do not want that to happen, especially when they're so much out in the open. Got the cover of rocks from one of the sides, but hordes of teams all around them. This horde is something that they need to take care of as quickly as possible. Charlie is also able to take down support yet again. We've already lost 1 member. Support down, and has also been finished, so it only brings the situation down in the hands of 2 people. Noob and AimGod, they're the only ones who can now help Counter Esports get a few extra points, maybe just off scraps, because if in case they get eliminated right now, they'll literally be at the 12th position and they're going to be fired upon from multiple different angles. Look at that. AimGod is just going to break his own vehicle, probably going to blast it to create some extra cover. Just at the edge of the circle. Just at the edge. Talk about fortune. But maybe not so fortunate the other teams, as Infe's DJ taken down to his knees. We're seeing the members of EM jumping off, so maybe CM could go in and take a few extra shots. Time able to use the DPS to shut down device. possible that the members of FAB Machine are only down to just one remaining player. Express as well. Express train is actually going pretty slow, on the verge of derailment. Just a couple of members remaining for their side and so much out in the open. While when we have a look at Lightning Esports, having 3 members and Leo is literally on a rampage, has already secured 4 finishes. We also saw DGOD, he was doing a decent job as well. Bot and Abhi, they also need kind of step up in this situation. They need to find a few extra frags, but they're literally at the edge, almost touching the circle. Blue one as well, which they definitely need to avoid. Otherwise, it's going to deal a ton of damage. And Abhi does not have a lot of healings apart from just 3 painkillers. Nothing. Is he really going to go in for the drop loot? That is the question. Seems to me that might actually happen, but on the other end, Express, both of their players are actually going to jump in the same compound. Now, we've seen this multiple times. How detrimental and disastrous can it actually get? Just one nade and both of them will be finished off instantly. Sharkoji from Silent Movers also screamed up silently. Almost was that one side. Abhi move forward. But eventually, VIBEZ Esports are still going to try and on towards that one edge. They'll be going in for some long range shots, trying to fire some warning shots. VIKENDI has been taken down. Sharkoji falling as well. Zone's gonna finish off a ton of those players. Noob getting one important frag, and we already know how important it was actually. We mentioned how Noob needs to be the anchor for his team, and he's being one. Some cover fire being shot by Alex to make sure that VIBEZ Esports do not lose a lot of members. One of them already down to his knees. Still very solid with three standing men. And right now have been pushed off. My goodness, this zone literally has been ruthless. Moving at the spots wherein we do not expect it to go. Most of the teams again outside of that zone, while we're also watching the members kind of falling. Vibes still not having a chance to revive their member. Leo, who we saw was actually on a rampage, has been taken down. Even Abhi OP. It's getting even more difficult for Team Express. VIBEZ Esports, they managed to revive one of their players, and they are not stopping even now. Already have secured 7 finishes in total, but on the other side, we're also seeing Team KEERTHI, only Kunal remaining. He's secured 3 finishes for his team, 3 crucial points, but how long can he stay in this position? Cover from 2 different angles, but right in front, we still see the members of EM standing strong. Edge Masters not giving an inch to any of their opponent. Clutch has fallen down as well. And again, Playzone acting as the deterring agent. Counter Esports have also fallen. Vibes losing their members. Everyone need to just jump into the circle as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the blue is just going to do the job of everyone out there. I mean, at least 10 players have already fallen down to the blue this time around. Maybe brought down by the other players, and over there to get them the revive. Vehicle to kind of scout out the area. The members of Edge Masters still want to try and gather as much real estate as possible because it's down to just last few teams. GENETIX Esports as well, standing put. Only last 8 members remaining. 4 teams still up in table. DBS right in hand. Can VIBEZ Esports do something about it? They're gonna get the revival in on time. They've lost both of their members. It's just Beast remaining. Alex, and in the end, are literally at the end of their lives if in case they're not revived. That's exactly what Resist wants as well from his side. GENETIX Esports will also do the exact same thing. Last 3 teams remaining, 5 players. It's a 3v1v1 situation. Vibes GENETIX seem to be the one who will have the upper hand. Some shots being fired yet again. Edge Masters have been taken down. And now it's a 3v1 situation. Can we see a clutch coming in from KEERTHI? Kunal, can he do it? That is the question. Smoke's already thrown out, so everyone knows his positioning. He's been lying there for a very, very long time. He's got DPS in hand, so if anyone gets up close and personal, that's going to be detrimental for them. The shots being fired, and that is going to be the game. GENETIX Esports getting a massive chicken dinner for themselves from a position where it seemed that they might not actually be able to get it, but still slowly moving forward, creeping ahead, staying as a unit, playing as a unit. Even with 3 men, they were able to gather the best position in the zone and were also able to finish off everyone who was seeing or who were they setting their sights upon. Another brilliant play coming in from their side, and this is exactly what their team need. These chicken dinners with some amazing kills, amazing frags to kind of finish off as many opponents as possible and end up being on top with the massive maximum amounts of points, because many a times we've seen situations where even if a team gets chicken dinner, they eventually could not finish up on top. But this time around, Abraham, Rezes, Spidey, Nico, everyone from the side of GENETIX Esports were able to get on top. 8 finishes in the hand, not too high, but still pretty decent. While we're seeing for the side of Team KP as well, they'll be ending up on the second place. 4 finishes, and Kunal is the one who's got 4. EM, we were seeing a lot of fights shown in from the side of Edge Masters. They've got some decent finishes as well. 8 finishes for their side, while VIBEZ Esports finishing off at the 4th place. With 9 finishes, they were able to grab themselves some decent amounts of points. We also see Team INA, Team CS. Good plays being made by almost all of them. GLA, I was expecting a lot from them, but they kind of ended up avoiding a lot of those fights, giving up a lot of real estate, which eventually led them in a situation where they were just being thrown around in the map left and right, and they were taken down. It seemed that all of their rotation points were already captured by their opponents, so pretty unfortunate for them, but maybe they can jump and bounce back in the next one. LGT, 6 finishes for themselves. That's pretty decent, but the position, it needs to be better for their side, so maybe gonna look for some kind of redemption in the next one. Now that's about it for this specific map. We still got one more map remaining for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure to not go anywhere, as we will be right back after one small break. So make sure to stay tuned.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Turns to sun rays, and on we'll go, see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And through the highways, and on we'll go.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Battle of Undergods. Finally, we are SANHOK, a very pacey one indeed. And in the previous game, we saw the teams going at against each other, literally neck to neck. It was a really fun game to watch. But eventually, only one of the winners came up in front of us. And guess what? It was none other than Team GENETIX Sports. But we'll have to see if they can repeat the exact same thing again in this one, or maybe something different, because focusing down on the plane path, again, a very centralized plane path directly going from west to east. Nakawi will be the place where it's going to end up. So teams can literally go to wherever they want, but the question is, how many drop clashes are we going to witness? Maybe some at the boot camp, a couple of them at the Paradise Resort, but apart from that, we're still seeing some early game aggression. Grimjaw taking Shivam down, that too with the M249. Some heavy weaponry being used up right away. We're gonna quickly jump into the action at the boot camp as well, because again, it's Phoenix Stars who are still suffering just a little bit, maybe not a lot, but still on the other side. Express as well in a very close combat up against the winners of the previous game, that's GENETIX Esports. 1-for-1 trades coming in, but GENETIX are the ones who will actually end up prevailing in the fight. With only just one person knocked down, and they have to take care of a couple of players. Ramjo actually moving forward with the S12K in his hand. Can he actually think? That's going to be the question. Already, Pixel of the place has seen them. He's got absolutely no HP, but behind, we're gonna see Spidey. Spidey 16 welcoming him, finishing him off. Is just a dream start coming in for the side of GENETIX Esports yet again. In the previous one, they also played as a three-man squad. One of their player was taken down early, and that's the exact thing that has happened even now. But still, we're going to witness VIBEZ Esports member. They're going to be trying to go in for this similar kind of contestation. It's in the hand. The best one for a pretty medium or close range fights, but and convert it into a 3x to probably get a better value out of it. And as of now, yet again, numbers advantage in favor of VIBEZ Esports. We saw a very dominating performance by VIBEZ as well in the previous one. They eventually ended up in the top 5 position, but GENETIX Esports, they understand the mechanics of the terrain. They realize which part of the terrain is going to be important and where they're going to find the best value. So they were able to do that in Miramar previously, but this early drop clash condition, they can't go out unscathed in this one whatsoever. The best case scenario, they take all 4 of them down, which will eventually help them get even more finish points, and that's the kind of early start you always want to look forward to. This time around, the question is, can the members of VIBEZ continue what they did in the previous game? Can they also reach towards that finish line? That is going to be the chicken dinner, nothing else. Exact same thing happen, but the things in the boot camp are literally going to be at a standstill for now on, as we're going to focus down Fighter Esports on towards the other side. Literally just making sure they've got the loots. Got a 1-for-1 trade, which is not exactly the best because they've lost Shadow, and Shadow value to the team. If nothing, at least another pair of eyes which will be watching out for multiple angles out there. So you always need to have that numbers up. No matter what, you would try to keep as many players alive as possible. One of the basic strategies of the game is strength in numbers, but at the same time, you also have to have the idea of the positioning of your opponents, because as of now, it just seems that Vibe Esports have got all the information that they need. They've kinda trapped the members of GENETIX Esports in just that one central building, and all they can do is try and on towards the roof, left and right. But again, another good pick coming in for the side of EM. Even in the previous one, Edge Masters, they ended up in the top 3 position. They were playing an excellent game of PUBG, and they knew what they wanted to do. Stations were also on point, and honestly, they were not at all scared of picking up any kind of fights. If anything, teams were literally trying to avoid Edge Masters in that one because of how dominating they always play. So even now, Edge Masters are the ones who will probably become the center of attention for all of these teams, because they've literally got a couple of players got the early couple of points, and they also have all four of their members alive without any major problems. Now, again, having a look towards the side of boot camp, it's yet again a stalemate situation. But Vibe Esports, they're kind of trying to circle around the members of Genetics. They're going to let them move out of boot camp, and if in case they try to move out from one of the places, there will be at least two people in a crossfire ready to welcome them. And I really love the fact that instead of literally bringing the fight towards Genetics, Vibes have decided to cut off all kinds of exit. Saw team even towards Lakavi, so no fights happening there as of now. But on the other end, DGOD not having a great day. They lost Gojo, they also lost Dine Shop, and it's not the dream start that you would even hope for. So in the southwestern part of the map, so but a few teams are still out of it, but we'll be seeing some long rotations coming in, maybe a couple of boats being used up to try and go in through the waters and end up towards Nakam. Or even if they really want to go in for a very long rotation, maybe end up towards Ruin. But if in case that's the type of rotation teams would want to go in for, maybe they'll prefer the road route, because again, teams love to play in a very centralized zone. They like to cluster around the center, and if not the center, at least near the center as much as possible. That is probably what we are also seeing from GLA, which in the previous game were having a pretty decent run. It did seem to me that they were trying to avoid a few of those fights, and which eventually let them be in, a top 10 spot, but not a lot of finish points. And with the way meta of this game has shifted, it's very finish point centric. Need to have a pretty decent amount of those finish points. But on the other side, looking just towards the north of the docks, a couple of teams will be trying to take that fight. But as of now, since we're already talking about trying to take the fight, Sugar, the only man standing, is switched up thing, because Harry was able to finish him off. A brilliant maneuver coming in, realized that even the player inside could have the shotgun, so did not go in, did not rush in recklessly, broke the door first, and then cleared the angles properly by jumping and firing the shots of DBS. Some elite skill play coming in. But on the other side, CS Rager, he knew that he was playing really amazing in the previous one, was knocked out pretty early on, managed to get a couple of frags for himself, so trying to continue that streak, not getting it better in this one, because it's the last game of the evening and it's the grand finals. After this, you would only have 3 more games. That would not today, but tomorrow. So that's something they would not want to put a lot of stress on, because yet again, you would want to finish at least in the top 5 of the table, so that eventually when things come to pass, you are ready with the last 3 games for the last 3 matches of the evening on the last day, and that is probably what you will be looking forward to. For now, again, pretty slow approach coming in boot camp here. We are still seeing the exact stalemate situation where no team is actually moving forward, and Vibes, I think so they're being a little too patient, but it's kind of paying off as resist. But have to just concede that space, cannot stand in that window, have to move downwards. He's got a ton of healing, so should be able to bring his HP back to full. Alex is also keeping the vision, realizing that there could be other players out there, so continuously moving, but he's got to change the position as of now, because it has been noted, and it seems that Vibes have probably decided to slowly move forward, as again some damage numbers being shown up, and Genetic kinda are in a precarious spot. If they keep on staying at that place, they might as well be taken down one after the other, because we're gonna keep on focusing on the fight and how it is just the members of Vibes not in, but cutting off all the routes. Nope. Can he get a couple of DBS shots? That's going to be the question. It's got his in it, jumping, but that is not enough. A good opening coming in for Can they try and find anything more? Fuming gods. They must be fuming at this point because they lost one of their members. But Counter Esports, we've seen them perform brilliantly. And God is also going to move forward now, but will be moving in the cover side wall. Sasuke seems to be the possible person who will fall next. There also one more teammate that's surrounding him. It's a 4v2 situation, literally not favoring the side of gods whatsoever, but they are fuming gods after all. Got the skills to even pull this one clutch off. So unless Counter Esports are going to be pretty smart about this one, it might actually be problematic. They're just holding their space. They want to clear every single house properly, making any kind of rush whatsoever. And seems to be the person who will be facing a lot of HP. Will full it. Noob also using the first aid kit to probably now get some extra chunk of HP, as the blue has already hit both of these teams. It's going to deal a lot of damage, but even a small tick is going to matter when about life and death. You know, one single bullet scratch can finish you off, and with that bullet scratch, I literally mean some shots being fired on the boots. But I love the position coming in from support, because he can literally end up backstabbing both the members if they are not careful. They need to be very vigilant, and they need to be aware of the possibility of support being on that position. As Sasuke, again, tanking a few of those shots. Aim God, my goodness, that could be a horrible mistake. He actually jumped out of the vehicle way too fast, brought down on his knees, should be getting the revival. There are a ton of teams, but this nade could be everything. Okay, YT. It's gonna survive. A little too far. That as Noob is also moving forward, taking a lot of space. Again, all these teams, they show so much patience, and support has also moved in towards the safe side of the blue zone, so not gonna get damaged whatsoever. Everyone else will be taking some chunks of damage. Yes, that is true, but so will Sasuke and Saksham. And as of now, Noob and AimGod, they will be trying to get the pincer in on Sasuke. Can he try and survive? Question. It's got the utility pulled out. First casualty coming in already. With the name being spot out in the screen, it's going to be none other than Sasuke. Stop any kind of push coming in from the main door whatsoever, as already one has been delivered. Support needs to join in his teammates, because it's literally a 1v2 situation. Another nade being thrown out, not at the perfect position, but he wants it to bounce off at least. And it's the play zone that's actually taken right down. And the nade is just going to do the job. What a horrible blunder coming in from the side of Counter Esports. But a long range fight coming in. Support's position was unanticipated. So Sasuke, he'll be knocked down onto his knees. But can Saksham try and revive his teammate? That is going to be the question. He's trying to ping out the position of Saksham. Sasuke wants to go cover, but just at the edge was taken down. It's now a 1v1. Only one of these teams are actually going to prevail. Is it going to be Counter Esports? But anyhow, the game is almost but over, because yes, you can try and gather a few of those position points, but when it comes to the clutches, it becomes infinitely difficult to try and pull a chicken dinner from this position. So maybe not a chicken, but at least a long run for the survival. Support realizes that he's not going to force the issue any longer. Saksham does not have the idea. Just got to farm a few more utilities out there. He's got a first aid kits, 5 of them actually. Can try and pick up a 6th one as well if he really wants to kind of try and force the heal battle towards the end. But support just wanted to reposition. Still trying to figure out if there's anyone in those houses. Knows that Saksham will be coming in sooner rather than later. So is ready to welcome him. The question is, does he anticipate what Saksham is trying to do? Because it's a mind game between both of these teams, and it's eventually going to end up in a similar kind of situation. But we're seeing Smoke Grenade actually firing a few shots onto the members of VIBEZ Esports. Might as well want to have a look at what's happening at that part of the map, because even in the boot camp, there was a situation where both the teams were literally in a spot where We're kinda in a stalemate, and why is Beast as well? Yeah. But a lot of problem being pulled out. Alex finishing off smoke grenade, while on the other side gets another knock. So that's the members of FAB Machine getting knocked out one after the other. What has happened to GENETIX? That's the question. Probably have been taken down. I don't think so. They were able to survive after that one. Eventually, we're changing the view. It's Lightning Esports now. Easily going in for some loots, holding the compounds, not budging a lot. Playing it pretty slow. Still 12 teams remaining, 35 remaining players. Still say that it's kind of quite less as compared to what was happening in the previous map. But eventually, that was the map of Miramar, and it is known to be a home very slow-paced games. While at SANHOK, you see a lot of drop clashes, you see a lot of early rotations. Since you're talking about early rotations, you're also seeing the member of Team KEERTHI now kind of showing up on towards the map at least. Boot camp is still captured by the members of GENETIX Esports because it was VIBEZ Esports who decided to just retreat from that point. But towards Same, we are seeing counter. Pretty few teams are kind of centered towards the northwestern part of the safe zone. Maybe once the blue is going to hit, they'll eventually end up changing a few positions, but we might possibly have some aggression at that point. Saksham is now going to take a ton of aggression from Team KEERTHI now. The question is, can he survive this one? Because it's that is kind of going to be taken down by the Oxygen realizes this might be the knock that they wanted. Can they get this 1 point? And the answer is absolutely yes. Would also be getting some extra loots. Kunal was taken down. The loss of one member. It should not buzz them a lot. They were playing with 3 players in the previous ones. Probably try and get a few of the extra frags. They did not gather the point. At least that's one thing. Because the play zone did the dirty job for them. Aksham not giving any kind of point to KEERTHI. But they still are looking for their opener. Apparently now going to go in for the rotation. Probably will end up jumping inside the safe zone by making a full circle either towards the northern part or maybe towards the southern part. Doesn't matter where they try to go in from. They will be facing aggression. They will be facing resistance, resilience. INA, a couple of players in Watchtower. While the other members, VIK Esports, they're holding their own compounds down at the foothill. Not forcing the fight, but would have to make their rotation now. Almost a couple of 100 meters outside of the zone, so still got 50 more seconds to think about where they want to end up at. The Agilling needs to be on point because in front of them there are quite a few teams which they need to cross, and we are also seeing support from Counter Esports, the lone man standing, and try and play as a spoiler for the other teams out there, which they've got to be wary about. Smokes will come out, but in the meantime, INA as well would have to leave the strongholds and would have to make a move towards the other side. Now, these hills are very open, so you either want to be in a compound or you at least want to have a few vehicles to try and create some extra cover. And neither of them are currently in the possession of INA. They're still staying in the watchtower. They want to take control of the space and maybe figure out where the other teams are. Kind of liking the smoke wall fake coming in from the members of, and they are moving in exactly towards the other side with the spray. 2 shots, but could not find the finisher. And I actually want to go in for the chase. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the best possible decision. But they've got a vehicle for them, so they can try and use that, but they've decided to directly go on foot. Could be fired upon from different angles, so kind of open at this point. GNT in the meantime finds a pick onto B, so VIBEZ Esports are facing a lot of, as Beast has been taken down as well. And it's Resist who's doing the dirty work. Some extra points being gained. Alex actually taking Resist down, so that's trade coming in. Question is, can Alex finish that off? Because he really need that. Marshall taking a few, still have the vision on members are not going to smear off INA so quickly. They need to snug them off, and that's what they're not being able to do. INA literally hot on their heels. But still in a pretty precarious spot though. Again, could be backstabbed, and two of the players in just one compound. I'm not a very big fan of that, because these and could be bombarded with the nades, and you would have absolutely nowhere to run off to, because obviously the opponents would be aiming at the exits and would be really ready for you to try and make a move out of that. Support still not inside the zone, will probably be trying to go extra healing for as long as possible, because there are literally 3 or 4 teams. Marshall in the meantime has been down to his knees though. Itachi will be giving him the revive, so VIK not losing members a lot, but clutch. Also watching the 6 of his teammates, and that's the shot that we were doing. And members of Team KEERTHI are now facing a lot of aggression, a lot of resistance, and a lot of denial at the same time. Envy gets his HP back up. They still realize there could be a player out of the zone. Spidey has also been taken down by the play zone, and we've seen so many times that many teams and players have been engulfed by the blue. Support's angle was watched out even by Oxygen. He needs to play smart, he needs to play safe, because he and Jokers are the only players remaining. And the blue is now going to hit. He's running in towards his own vehicle. He's going to go in quickly. He's got to drive as fast as possible. But he'll probably be going right in the clutches of the members of Edge Masters. Yeah, they're super welcome him. He'll probably be taken down. But Oxygen actually the tree. This could be the worst possible thing that was happening to him, and he's been taken down. Joker's the only one he can do is heal battle, and no way. My man's got 38 first aids. The team have got absolutely 0 finish points. But since we are talking about 0, they're trying to change the number. VIK Esports already have 1 finish, want to make it 2, and that's a couple of knocks coming. Doing great work. Literally utilizing his Tsukihumi as much as possible, with the shots being fired. I did not anticipate the third player as well. Now Envy. He'll probably be paying for the heal yet again. We've only got 19 remaining and 22 players up front. Another shot being fired. Good pick coming in whatsoever. Charlie. Lux. Xylux. Wolverine. Members of INA and EM. Both of them in the vicinity of each other. We're probably going to see another fight breaking out in between both of these teams, and even Silent move silently ahead. Got an idea. Wolverine's been taken down to his knees. Will be finished off. Cannot survive through this fire. Possibly. He should be taken down. But no, he actually goes into the safety of his teammates. Clutch is there, as support was also taken down now. So that's about it for the run coming in. Counter Esports can't do anything more than that. But on the other side, RB Esports slowly creeping ahead. Shots being fired. He is the target. While on the other end, we're still seeing the members of EM trying to stop GLA. Not letting them move forward. Xylux has got an idea where the members are, but can he get the nade right? This one's not hitting the mark whatsoever. Still trying to control that part of the map. Still trying to find an opening. Already lost one player. INA Wolverine is up on his feet, but as soon as he was brought down yet again. RB Esports also facing a lot of casualties. A good taking down Garuda. We know how important he has been. He's literally been a key in all of those fights. And another raid. That's Xylux been taken down as well. So the members of EM are now facing so much problem as Charlie will fall. The fight between GLA and EM. GLA, unlike the previous game, this time they were not at all scared. They had a great positioning and some great openings with the nades, and they will now move forward. Clutch has been taken down. Twice he saved his own teammate, but now he needs to be saved by his teammate himself. Wolverine is basically kind of given up on him as he'll slowly be creeping ahead in the smoke. No, wait a minute. He's actually giving him the revive. He can actually be fired upon. Only 4 teams remaining, and we've only got 9 more players left in the lobby. Question is, can we see the side of INA clutching this one out? GLA, both of them got to fight against each other, as we're going to see. The players probably just going in for those heal battles. This is going to be the most important fights between these teams. Both of them are trying to go in for as much boost as possible. Oh my goodness, Wolverine, that's not the spot you wanted to be at while throwing a Molotov. Out in the open, taken down to his knees. And now there's absolutely no way for Clutch to make that cross, as Goku also takes a lot of fire. Mars as well as Moonpan. They got an amazing positioning. Clutch has been taken down as well. Standing, the only one just down to tithers of his HP. Will fire those shots, but Wolverine and Clutch as well as Goku have fallen. They've taken a beating in this one, and what a way GLA to move up so very solid. 16 finishes in total. 4 by Foxy, 6 by Obito. They've literally been unstoppable. Only 5 more first aids by Abraham. You can only stay up for so long. Genetics. My oh my. They've got 4 finishes, but a bunch load of position points, and he's literally all out in Painan, so there's no way we're going to see GLA trying to sniff him out, trying to finish him off before he can use those kits. Jokers is also going to fall. He had 38 of those kits with himself, but Abraham, that's the last one he could find. Nothing left for now. He will fall as well. LA are the ones who couple of points stolen away from them only because it was a heel battle. But what a great way to finish off day number 1 of the grand finals. Match number 3, showing how solid they are, showing how terrain dependent team it is. And even if they were in a situation where they were kind of trailing their opponents, they found out the best opportunities and the best openings. A brilliant game coming in from them. With the 16 finishes, they literally have made it to a minimum of 25 point a game, maybe crossing the 30 point mark as well. And that's exactly the way where you want to end things on one day, only to pick them up from the exact same pace. 3 more games remaining, so it's not yet over for all the other teams. We might possibly see teams making a comeback. Maybe Keerthi, GENETIX as well. They were playing pretty solid. INA got some chance. Fuming Gods, even though they've only had a couple of members in the starting, it was the sheer resilience that they were showing, not falling whatsoever. Counter Esports definitely need to brush up a few of their decision-making points, because I still think there was kind of miscommunication coming in between them, or just some questions, a second of pause, and that's exactly what was needed by Fuming Gods to finish all of them off, or at least try and go in for that survival. For all the other teams as well, we're going to have to wait and see. We'll have to wait for tomorrow, that is, in the last 3 games of the Grand Finals Day 2. If they're going to make a comeback, if they're going to change what's written in the fate, if they're going to change. In order to find that out, guys, make sure to stay tuned, hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, as well as hit the bell notification. We will catch you guys tomorrow at the exact same time. So do join in tomorrow, which will be the... Till then, I'm scared yet. I'll be signing off. Have a good night. It wants to go cover, but just at the edge was taken down. It's now a 1v1. Only one of these teams are actually going to prevail. Is it going to counter esports?
Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
Positions, but we might possibly have some aggression at that point. Saksham is now going to take a ton of aggression from Team Keerthi now. The question is, can he survive this one? Because it's that he is kind of going to be taken down by the Focus is also going to fall. He had 38 of those kits with himself, but Abraham, that's the last one he could find. Nothing left for now. He will fall as well. LA are the ones who wants to go cover, but just at the edge was taken down. It's now a 1v1. Only one of these teams are actually going to prevail. Is it going to counter East? But anyhow, the game is almost but over because yet two positions, but we might possibly have some aggression at that point. Saksham is now going to take a ton of aggression from Team Keerthi now. The question is, can he survive this one? Because it's that he is kind of going to be taken down by the Focus is also going to fall. He had 38 of those kits with himself, but Abraham, that's the last one he could find. Nothing left for now. He will fall as well. LA are the ones who couple of points delivered. Support needs to join in his teammates because it's literally a 1v2 situation. Another nade being thrown out, not at the perfect position, but he wants it to bounce off at least. And it's the play zone that's actually taken right down. And the nade is just wants to go cover, but just at the edge was taken down. It's now a 1v1. Only one of these teams are actually going to prevail. Is it going to counter East? But anyhow, the game is almost but over because yet two positions, but we might possibly have some aggression at that point. Saksham is now going to take a ton of aggression from Team Keerthi now. The question is, can he survive this one? Because it's that he is kind of going to be taken down by the Focus is also going to fall. He had 38 of those kits with himself, but Abraham, that's the last one he could find. Nothing left for now. He will fall as well. LA are the ones who couple of points delivered. Support needs to join in his teammates because it's literally a 1v2 situation. Another nade being thrown out, not at the perfect position, but he wants it to bounce off at least. And it's the play zone that's actually taken right down. And the nade is just wants to go cover, but just at the edge was taken down. It's now a 1v1. Only one of these teams are actually going to prevail. Is it going to counter East? But anyhow, the game is almost but over because yet two positions, but we might possibly have some aggression at that point. Saksham is now going to take a ton of aggression from Team Keerthi now. The question is, can he survive this one? Because it's that he is kind of going to be taken down by the Focus is also going to fall.
defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Feel the time, feel the time, feel the time, feel the time. Feel the time, feel the time, feel the time, feel the time.
Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Feel the time, feel the time,
holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, a demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, a demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Feel the time, feel the time, feel the time, feel the time. Feel the time, feel the time, feel the time, feel the time.
Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, a demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, a demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Feel the time,
holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason, finding all you're wanting, that demon. And you took it all away from me, and you took it all away.
Feel the time, feel the time, feel the time, feel the time. Feel the time, feel the time, feel the time, feel the time.
Helpless, defeated, holding on to something I've needed. I'm looking for a reason,